Civic society organization has come out to profile solutions to various draconian laws that limit civil society and civic freedom in Nigeria. Global Right, during a high-level strategic meeting titled Solution Lab at Abuja, gave some solution to the extremely harsh laws that are affecting the civil space. Abiodun Bayewu, the executive director, Global Right, stated that the Solution Lab is aimed at reviewing draconian laws passed by the government, as the civil space is being repressed by many laws and also a threat to the nation's security.
The civic space in Nigeria is being repressed by many laws. So, for example, our colleagues at Spaces for Change have recorded more than 426 infractions on the civic space by the government, a lot of them against the media, more than 112 against the media. Currently, we have more than 9 draconian bills at the National Assembly that are a threat to not just the civic space, to the security and the cohesion of our nationhood. And we cannot allow that to continue. We're going into 2023, and we must begin to think of how to engage as a people beyond just the voting and the politics around elections, to ensure we are able to hold government accountable to the laws and the policies that they prefer to our civic space.
Chinno Obiagun, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Chairman, Human Rights Institute of Nigeria Bar Association, said the judiciary is the last hope of the common man, but has not been responding to the need of the masses.
Oh yes, the constitutional role of judiciary is to balance power, executive power, legislative power. That is why it is said that judiciary is the last hope of the common man. So if the executive is trying to muzzle the society and the legislature is making laws that will also restrict freedom, it is the role of judiciary. If they don't do that, they have failed the Nigerian people. And that is why we are concerned that judiciary in Nigeria so far have not shown that passion to protect freedoms. We've seen cases just this morning, a young boy who sent a message on Facebook criticizing the action of a government of Akwa Ibom State was sent to 1 month imprisonment. How could a court do that? Restricting right to freedom of expression. So judiciary has so far not responded to the need of our people, and I think it is important that we draw that attention to them, that closing the digital space will also affect the judiciary.
He further said if the judiciary do not take a bold step against the draconian law, it might be affected by it in future.
The judiciary has a role to play to ensure that any draconian law is set aside. For instance, we've seen Cybercrime Act that provides in section 24 that you cannot tweet or use social media or digital means to criticize government. We've seen now what they call a policy paper on IT use. We've seen NBC Act, Nigerian Broadcasting Commission Act, that restricts the media to broadcast the truth, facts. If the facts are against government, then NBC will censor you as a media house. What are the judiciary doing to set aside these laws? We've seen CAMA, Company and Alarm Matters Act, that provides that civil society must report to a government institution. Where does that happen? And yet judiciary is not saying anything about it.
Maxwell Kadiri, a senior legal officer, said as the general election is approaching, most legislators will be focused on campaign against the forthcoming election, thereby neglecting some of its duties, which might lead to loss of diligence in the process of making law.
In a few weeks, focus will strictly be on campaigns and elections, and the attention span for lawmaking and governance generally will take a backseat. But it's still not impossible to begin a process of engagement with the assembly in the hope, that where it is possible to still get some attention and presence, that some of that is still done before the assembly comes to an end. Like you recall, which is now becoming like a practice. After the elections, they then come back and then try to rush a few things through, in that last couple of weeks. So that is one possibility. Although the challenge with that is the diligence and thoroughness that needs to be applied to the process of lawmaking is lost, because they are now running a race against time, and mistakes could be made, or in some instances pressure could also be had. So it swings both ways. You could actually have it deal with some of the draconian provisions, or you could actually even have them enact other laws that have further draconian provisions, which then becomes another challenge, but also prepping that. And I'm also aware that there are provisions in the rules of both the House of Reps and in the Senate that basically allows legislative proposals being considered by the previous assembly to be continued by the succeeding assembly, rather than starting de novo, which is starting afresh.
Dorcas Olariwaju, Voicetv, Nigeria.